Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to the President of the IAF, Mr. Clay Maury.
Thank you. Your Excellency, President Aliyev, Your Excellency, First Vice President Aliyeva, honorable ministers, ambassadors, heads of agencies, space community, distinguished guests, good morning and welcome to the 74th International Astronautical Congress, and thank you for joining us in this beautiful city of Baku. It's a great honor for me to address you on this very special occasion in my capacity as President of the International Astronautical Federation, the IAF. The IAC is indeed a unique event for all of us in the space community. For many of us, it's the only time of the year when we can come together to share our work, embrace our colleagues, and make new connections with a diverse and enthusiastic community from across the globe. Coming back to Baku after 50 years would not have been possible without the outstanding support of President Aliyev. Thank you, President. I would now like to recognize our partners, the International Academy of Astronautics, the International Institute of Space Law, and the Space Generation Advisory Council for their continuous support of this Congress and event. And to our premium sponsors, the Chinese Society of Astronautics, our platinum sponsor, the Saudi Space Agency, SpaceX, and the Turkish Space Agency, our gold sponsors, Israel Aerospace Industries and the Mohammed bin Rashid Space Center, and our silver sponsors, Airbus, Axiom Space, Intersputnik, iSpace, the Indian Space Research Organization, the Japan Space Exploration Agency, Northrop Grumman, Plan S, and VAST. And our bronze sponsors, Asgardia, Black Sky, Blue Origin, JGC Corporation, and Lockheed Martin Corporation. Our appreciation goes to all the other sponsors who supported this edition of the IAC. Your invaluable support is what makes the IAC the incredible event it is every year. Last but not least, I'd like to thank the rest of you for coming. The IAC, without our authors, our speakers, our exhibitors, the committees, these are all volunteers. Each one of you is joining us here today. Thank you for coming. You are part of the world's largest and most diverse space organization, the IAF. As you have seen in the video just before, we were founded in 1951 at a time of difficult geopolitical relations in order to provide an apolitical and neutral platform to connect all space people. And today, more than 70 years later, we find ourselves again in a time of complicated international affairs. And the IAF's role is even more essential to bring together the ever-growing space community in the spirit of peaceful cooperation. The Federation has a history of constant growth and innovation. We were originally founded by 10 organizations in Paris. The IAF now counts today 468 members from 75 countries around the world. And I can tell you a secret. By the end of this week, we will reach 500 members. The IAF works to help policymakers understand the economic, social, political, and scientific value of space. Through our congresses, our conferences, our publications, and studies, knowledge is deepened and shared about how space technology can improve our daily lives. Through the networking of IAF events, investment and innovation, we're encouraging organizations from around the world to connect, collaborate, and advance scientific and technical knowledge in their countries. Throughout our events and activities, we are focused particularly on 3 topics from my IAF agenda: sustainability, investment, and security. And I don't think it's an overstatement to say space has been very busy since we convened in Paris last year. We've seen amazing images from the James Webb Space Telescope. China completed its orbital space station Tiangong, which is now fully operational and permanently crewed in orbit above us. NASA, ESA, and their suppliers successfully accomplished the Artemis 1 mission that will lead us back to the moon. The Indian Space Research Organization landed Chandrayaan-3 on the lunar surface. And the ISS is continuing to operate successfully in an international partnership above us with the support of commercial operators. Space industries are successfully developing technologies for humankind's ambitious plans to go back to the moon, to Mars, and beyond. And this is just to mention a few of the highlights of the past year. Space is busy, and it's only going to get busier from here. As you will learn during this exciting week, we're really moving forward quickly. So on behalf of the IAF, thank you once again for being here at the 74th International Astronautical Congress. Go forth, share your work, and make new connections. And also have fun. I hope you have a chance or will make the time to take in some of the local culture here and have an opportunity to see the city of Baku on the beautiful coast of the Caspian Sea. And now it's my pleasure to share with you a special video from China's space station Tiangong. Many thanks to CNSA, CSA, and CMSE for making this happen.
第74届国际宇航大会的各位参会代表，我们在中国空间站向大家问好。我是中国航天员景海鹏。
我是中国航天员朱杨柱。
我是中国航天员桂海潮。
我们现在正在执行神舟16号飞行任务。在2年多的时间里，中国空间站已经完成了在轨建造，进入应用与发展新阶段。在此，我代表政组对第74届国际宇航大会在阿塞拜疆首都巴库召开表示热烈的祝贺。
70多年来，每年的国际宇航大会都汇集了全球航天大家庭彼此相聚。大会的使命是紧密连接全球航天人，传达为全人类团结、和平与合作的信号。国际宇航联合会在所有成员的支持下，有着悠久的架构友谊之桥的历史。宇航联大会今年重返巴库，距离这座城市1973年举办大会整整50年。
当时，在时任阿塞拜疆领导人盖达尔·阿利耶夫先生的推动下，1973年第24届国际宇航大会在巴库成功举办。阿利耶夫先生也是该国现任总统伊利哈·阿利耶夫的父亲。在这张具有历史意义的照片上，年轻的伊利哈·阿利耶夫在他父亲的陪伴下参加第27届国际宇航大会，并与参会的著名国际航天员合影留念。
50年后，阿塞拜疆现任总统伊利哈姆·阿利耶夫大力支持第74届国际宇航大会在巴库再次举办。就像这张照片记载的，人类航天事业的发展需要几代人的接续奋斗。
时光荏苒，50年弹指一挥间，世界航天发生了日新月异的变化。不变的是人类追求和平的美好愿望。
衷心希望参会的各位代表以本届大会为契机，在1周的时间里交流经验、分享信息、增进合作。
让我们携手并肩，探索宇宙，共促世界航天繁荣发展。在外空领域 积极推动构建人类命运共同体，建设人类共同的美好家园。朋友们 ，enjoy， 拜拜，拜拜。
We have a small surprise for His Excellency Ilham Aliyev, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan. You saw a picture of him and his father, which is now still flying in space aboard the China's space station, Tiangong. However, there's a second picture, which has already been flown to the International Space Station and made it back to here on Earth. And this picture is here today, and it has been framed together with 4 symbolic items, which have also been flown to the ISS. There is the logo of the IC hosted in Azerbaijan back in 1973, the current logo of the IC 2023 here in Baku, the patch of the IAF, and a stamped postcard from the IC in 1973. I would now kindly invite His Excellency Ilham Aliyev, President of Azerbaijan, on stage to receive this frame.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, His Excellency, Mr. Ilham Əliyevin.
Once again, I thank His Excellency for hosting us in Baku and allowing us to experience firsthand the world-renowned Azerbaijani hospitality. And now it's my pleasure to introduce a short video shared with us by NASA and coming directly from the International Space Station.
Greetings from the International Space Station. I'm NASA astronaut Jasmine Mogbelli, here with my fellow NASA astronaut Laurel O'Hara and all of my Crew 7 crewmates.
We're in the early stages of our mission on this magnificent orbiting laboratory as we fly 260 miles above the Earth. The space station is humanity's foremost research facility, and we and our crewmates are busy every day conducting world-class research for the benefit of all humanity.
The International Space Station is approaching 2 incredible milestones over the next 2 months. On November 2nd, we will mark the 23rd anniversary of a permanent human presence in space. And on December 6th, the space station partners will mark the 25th anniversary of the joining of the Zarya and Unity modules, the first elements of what today is an enormous complex.
Our crew is truly representative of the global partnership that is the hallmark of the International Space Station, working together every day to improve life on Earth.
To all of you in attendance in Baku, we wish you a productive conference. As you look up to the skies tonight, we will wave back at you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, His Excellency, Mr. Ilham Aliyev.
Dear Mr. President of International Astronautical Federation, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, welcome to Azerbaijan, welcome to Baku. After 50 years, the Congress is back. First of all, I'd like to express deep gratitude to the International Astronautical Federation for the honor to host the Congress in Azerbaijan. Also, I'd like to express gratitude to International Astronautical Academy and International Institute of Space Law for their constant support. For us, it's a big honor to host such an important global event. We have more than 5,000 participants from more than 100 countries. I'm sure that our guests will have a chance, apart from their duties here at the Congress, to know more about Azerbaijan, its history, its culture, its people. Azerbaijan became a member of a global space club more than a decade ago, and now with 3 satellites, 2 telecommunication and 1 Earth observation satellite, we continue our efforts to develop space industry in Azerbaijan. Also, I'd like to inform you that these 3 satellites are managed by Azerbaijani specialists, and they provide services not only to us, but to 45 countries. The Congress here in Baku definitely will give a new impetus to development of space industry, development of high-tech and innovation sector of our country, its modernization. Now, modernization is a word which characterizes our vision for the future, our agenda, and our plans. Azerbaijan, during the times of independence, transformed into an active member of international community. Our policy always is very clear, transparent, straightforward, and is aimed at winning friends and enhancing cooperation. Azerbaijan participates as an active member of international community in numerous political, economic, regional development projects. We, for the 4th year, are chairing the 2nd after United Nations international institution, non-aligned movement, and we've been entrusted the honor to chair this institution by unanimous decision of 120 countries. So this really reflects the broad international support to Azerbaijan. At the same time, our cooperation with European institutions also developed successfully. With 7 members of EU, Azerbaijan signed declarations on strategic partnership. So that actually demonstrates our foreign policy agenda, which is absolutely open and, as I already said, aimed at cooperation and broader regional involvement and inclusivity. Azerbaijan is a member of 2 important international institutions, Islamic Cooperation Organization and Council of Europe, and is one of the very few countries which is a member of both. And in these 2 international organizations, more than 100 countries are participants. So this actually is a reflection not only of our geography and our culture, but also of our political intentions. Because being situated just between Europe and Asia, being a kind of a natural transportation, cultural, and now also economic bridge which connects 2 continents, actually gives us this basic opportunity to create a broad international cooperation in our region. And I think, as for maybe all the countries of the world, geography means a lot. For us, geography means opportunity. So we managed to transform our geographical location into a positive scenario, having good relations with our neighbors, with whom we share centuries of cohabitation and partnership. Today, we broaden our horizons, and actually entrusting us with hosting this important international event, we consider it as a sign of respect, as a sign of support to our endeavors. Being a natural bridge between the continents, of course, played an important role for the development of our society. Throughout the centuries, Azerbaijan had a multicultural, multi-ethnic, and multi-confessional society. And now, during more than 30 years of independence, we strengthen this factor of our life. We consider it as an important factor of stability, predictability, and the peaceful coexistence between representatives of all ethnic groups and representatives of all confessions in Azerbaijan. We really live like in one family, and it is also noted and reflected in decisions of international organizations like United Nations, which fully supports Azerbaijan's efforts to promote multiculturalism. And by the way, the regular international intercultural dialogue forums, which are held by our initiative in our country, is a unique platform for making interactions between different civilizations more result-oriented. Azerbaijan was the initiator of a Baku process more than a decade ago, which for the first time in history united Council of Europe and Islamic Cooperation Organization in one platform addressing important issues of global politics, intercultural dialogue, and peaceful development. Azerbaijan also is known as a country where the first oil in the world was produced in the middle of 19th century. And at that time, we were producing more than a half of the world's oil production. And also, maybe not many people know that the first offshore oil was also produced in Azerbaijan, in the Caspian, by Azerbaijani oil workers in the middle of 20th century. And now, when we are independent, our natural resources, they serve the benefit of our people. And the rapid transformation during the years of independence is actually a demonstration of the proper use of our natural wealth. For some countries who are rich with oil resources, oil is a curse. For us, it was the way how to develop, how to strengthen our independence, how to protect our identity, and to build a strong economy. If you look at today's map of energy and transportation routes, including pipelines, you will see the touch of Azerbaijan. The projects which we initiated and successfully completed together with our neighbors and partners actually is a big contribution to energy security, not only of our region. And today, as we all know, energy security is an integral part of national security of every country. And today, Azerbaijan is a reliable supplier of energy resources to international markets and is considered by European Union as a pan-European supplier and reliable supplier. But among our partners, there are dozens of countries in different continents. And all that serves international cooperation, predictability, and at the same time, successful economic development of our country. 3 years ago, we completed the main task of our life. We restored our territorial integrity, which was violated for almost 30 years. We suffered aggression, occupation, ethnic cleansing, which was a big tragedy for our nation and a big humanitarian catastrophe. When our lands became occupied in the beginning of the 90s, more than 1 million Azerbaijanis, at that time our population was 8 million, became refugees and internally displaced persons. That was probably the highest per capita ratio of refugees in any country. And at that time we were very poor. We did not yet started to develop our natural resources. We were landlocked, disorganized, and the prospects for the future were not very clear. But our people demonstrated strong political will. We tried for many years to find a peaceful solution to the conflict and to put an end to occupation by peaceful means. For 28 years, we were strongly committed to negotiation process, but unfortunately, we clearly realized that by peaceful means, it is not possible to do. So we used our right for self-defense. We used the right which is given to every country by UN Charter, right for self-defense, and liberated our territories 3 years ago and put an end to occupation. Just less than 1 month ago, we fully restored our sovereignty over the country, all over the country. Unfortunately, international organizations which were obliged to put an end to occupation did not produce any result. United Nations Security Council adopted 3 resolutions demanding immediate and unconditional withdrawal of Armenian forces from our territories, but these resolutions were not implemented for 27 years. We implemented those resolutions ourselves, sacrificing the lives of our people. Other international institutions like OSCE had a mandate for negotiation facilitation, but it produced 0 result and led to total frustration and disappointment in Azerbaijani society. So our experience of restoration of territorial integrity and sovereignty in a certain way is unique. We put an end to a conflict which was imposed on us. We protected our dignity. We restored justice and international law. And now it's time for peace in the Caucasus. This is our agenda. Our agenda is peace in the Caucasus, peace in the region, cooperation, shared benefits, and today we demonstrate that. Of course, in order to become really independent country, we had to have a strong economy. We clearly realized that. Therefore, all our main efforts were aimed how to create such an economy which will be self-sufficient, that will not lead us to a kind of a dependence on any global center of power or on any financial institution. And we managed to do it. I would like to inform you with some figures, taking into account that most of our guests are visiting Azerbaijan for the first time. I think these figures clearly demonstrate what has been achieved in Azerbaijan recently. So in the last 20 years, our GDP grew 4 times. Our budget revenues grew more than 30 times. Foreign trade turnover more than 10 times growth. We managed to reduce our direct foreign debt, and now it is around 10% of GDP. And by the end of 2024, according to our plans, it will be around 7.5% of GDP. Foreign exchange reserves in Azerbaijan exceed our direct foreign debt 10 times. So in other words, if we would like, we can repay all our debts within a couple of months. Investments. We created a very positive investment climate, not only for energy, but other sectors. So total investments in the last 20 years were more than $300 billion, and among which 190 billion was investment in non-energy sector. One of the big challenges in the beginning of our independence was poverty, which was endemic. 20 years ago, the percentage of people living in poverty was close to 50. Now it is 5.5, which actually demonstrates that natural resources which we accumulated and which we brought to international market were properly managed, and the fair distribution of national wealth today is seen by international experts, and most important, by the people of Azerbaijan. So all this actually demonstrates that country is well established. Political, economic, social stability is an important factor of our development, because it is clear that if situation is not stable and is not predictable, you cannot expect investors to come and to risk their capital. I hope that our guests will have opportunity to see what I've just said with their own eyes, seeing the people, meeting with people, and knowing more about Azerbaijan. Yes, we have ancient history, part of which was demonstrated in the video presentation, and the Asian culture, but as independent country, we are still very young, only 32 years old. And in conclusion, I'd like once again to say that we really are very proud that we are hosting the Congress for the second time. As it was already said and demonstrated, 1973, 24th Congress was held in Baku. I'm very grateful to all our guests, and especially to our brave Chinese astronauts, which have that very dear for me photo in the space. So in a certain way, I am also there. I am part of your community. And of course, hosting for the second time this important event is a big honor for us. Once again, I'd like to express gratitude to all those who participated in that decision. So, for the second time, the Congress is held in Baku, in the same city, but not in the same country. Today, it is independent Azerbaijan, which hosts such a global event. So once again, thank you for being with us. I wish the Congress success.